Woman gave birth at 87, then doctor discovers something shocking. Imagine this. An elderly woman named Maria Hernandez, 87 years old, living a quiet life in a small, close-knit town. Maria has been on her own for years since her husband passed, her children living hours away with families on their own. She's the kind of person everyone knows, small and spry, with a sharp mind and a warmth that everyone in her neighborhood loves. But lately, people have noticed a change in her. Maria's appearance has started to shift in ways that are hard to explain. Her once slender frame is now fuller, and she often places a hand over her abdomen with an expression that no one can quite read. At first, she tells herself it's just age creeping up on her. She assumes it's part of getting older, weight gain, a slower pace, the usual changes everyone experiences. But with time, Maria realizes something more unusual is happening. Her belly has begun to swell noticeably, and each day her discomfort grows. She feels a strange heaviness in her abdomen, a sensation she hasn't felt in decades, not since she was carrying her own children so many years ago. Welcome back to PlotTwister. Before we unravel today's mystery, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you're always in the loop. Finally, one morning, the discomfort is too much to ignore. Maria looks at herself in the mirror, alarmed at what she sees. Her stomach looks like it's rounded out, almost as if she's pregnant. An absurd thought at her age. Her mind races as she remembers stories of elderly women facing strange health problems and wonders if something serious might be going on. Her friends encourage her to see a doctor, sensing her worry. When Maria finally arrives at the doctor's office, the staff can't help but exchange curious looks. They can't remember the last time they saw someone her age with such an unusual appearance. As she sits in the exam room, Maria feels a growing sense of unease. The doctor enters, calm but visibly puzzled, as he listens to Maria's accounts of her symptoms. After a careful examination, he orders a few initial tests, his face betraying his own curiosity. The doctor examines Maria's initial test results, expecting something routine, maybe a minor growth or fluid buildup. But what he sees leaves him uneasy. An ultrasound shows a shape in Maria's abdomen that resembles a small, curled-up figure, almost like an infant. The doctor stares at the image, not quite believing his eyes, then calls in a colleague to double-check. Word spreads quickly through the small clinic. Nurses and other doctors hover in the hallway, whispering about this baffling case. An 87-year-old woman appearing pregnant? It sounds impossible. Something out of a bizarre medical mystery. The doctors gather to review the image, each of them shaking their heads in disbelief. Could it be a rare, late-life pregnancy? It seems unfathomable, but the evidence on the screen suggests otherwise. Back in the examination room, Maria waits, feeling her heart pounding. She watches the expression on the doctors' faces as they re-enter, a mixture of confusion and barely contained surprise. When they tell her what they've seen, she feels her stomach drop. Pregnant? At her age? Maria can barely process it. She searches their faces looking for reassurance, but the doctors seem as bewildered as she is. When Maria's family hears the news, they're stunned. Her children drive in from their distant cities, concerned and skeptical, trying to make sense of what happened. They bombard her with questions, but Maria has few answers. She tries to explain the doctor's findings, but even saying it out loud feels surreal, like she's describing a dream rather than her own life. The doctors decide to conduct more tests, including blood work, but the results only deepen the mystery. Nothing seems to fully explain what they're seeing. Each test adds another layer of uncertainty, leaving the doctors with more questions than answers. They struggle to understand what could possibly cause these unusual results. As Maria returns home with her family, the mystery weighs heavily on everyone's mind. Friends and neighbors sense something is wrong, watching her closely, wondering what secrets her frail frame might be hiding. For Maria, every glance in the mirror is a reminder of the strange reality she now faces, her mind racing with questions, unsure of what the future holds. As the days pass, Maria's condition only grows stranger. Her belly continues to swell, and her discomfort turns into a constant ache. She can feel an unsettling pressure, a heaviness that feels almost alive, but she keeps quiet about it, afraid of what people might think. Her family hovers around her, worried and tense, while the doctors scramble to piece together an explanation. The medical team decides to dig deeper. They run an MRI hoping for clearer answers, but what they find only adds to the mystery. The scan reveals a dense mass within her abdomen, something with odd characteristics. tissue, and density unlike anything they've seen in someone her age. It has a strange, almost defined shape that resembles something familiar, yet unplaceable. The doctors exchange uneasy glances, realizing they're dealing with something far beyond the ordinary. Maria lies awake all night, haunted by the strange feeling inside her. Memories of her pregnancies flood back. Moments she thought were long behind her. She wonders if this is some cruel trick of fate, something her body held onto for decades without her knowing. A chill runs down her spine as she questions what might be growing inside her. Something she never expected. Something no one can explain. Her family begins to sense the unease among the doctors. They press for answers, but no one can provide any certainty. The doctors start tossing out ideas, each one more unusual than the last. Perhaps it's an extreme hormonal imbalance, or maybe a rare type of growth. But no one can settle on a clear answer. Each theory falls apart as soon as it's proposed, leaving everyone grasping at shadows. Friends from the neighborhood drop by trying to support Maria, but they leave with more questions than comfort. Rumors spread through town. Whispers of a woman defying nature, of a miracle or a mystery that no one can quite understand. People speculate, wondering if she's hiding some secret or if something otherworldly is at play. Maria feels caught in a strange walking dream, her life turned upside down by an impossible reality. With each passing day, the line between what she thinks she knows and what she fears blurs, leaving her to wonder if she's truly living in a mystery that even the best doctors cannot solve. The day finally arrives. After weeks of unanswered questions, Maria and her family find themselves back at the hospital. The air thick with tension. Her children cling to each other, engaging nervous glances. While Maria lies on a hospital bed, her face calm, but her eyes filled with something between fear and acceptance. Nurses prepare the room, murmuring quietly as they set up, aware that this is no ordinary case. Doctors gather around her, prepared for what they believe might be an extraordinary discovery. They don their surgical gloves, faces set with concentration. Maria's hand is shaking slightly as she reaches out to her eldest daughter, who squeezes it, whispering words of comfort. For a moment there's silence, everyone waiting, bracing for whatever they might find. The procedure begins, and as the doctor makes the first incision, he's met with something he can't quite explain. His hands move carefully, uncovering layer by layer, each moment revealing something more mysterious. The room is so quiet you could hear a pin drop. All eyes are fixed on the surgeon's hands, as if they might reveal a long-buried secret. Then the doctor pauses. His face shifts from concentration to astonishment, a look that spreads to the rest of the team. Inside Maria's abdomen, they find a mass that defies everything they expected. It's not a baby, but rather something resembling one. A dense, irregular shape, with traces of hair, tissue, even what looks like fragments of bone. The nurses gasp, and Maria's family members look at each other, unsure of what this means. The doctor steadies himself, carefully removing the mass and setting it aside. He glances at Maria's children, his eyes filled with a mix of relief and amazement. The entire operating room seems to exhale, the tension slowly lifting as they realize that whatever this is, it's not life-threatening. It's strange, even shocking, but Maria is safe. As they finish the procedure, the doctor assures the family that Maria will be all right. The mystery may not be fully understood, but for now they know she is out of danger. Her family huddles together, feeling a profound sense of relief. They look at Maria, who, despite her exhaustion, manages a small, weary smile, grateful that the worst seems to be behind her. When Maria opens her eyes, she's greeted by the relieved, tearful faces of her family. Her children surround her, each one reaching out to touch her hand or shoulder, as if they are afraid to let go. There's a softness in their eyes, a tenderness she hasn't seen in years. She feels an overwhelming sense of peace, grateful to see them all here, safe and together. The doctor enters still in his scrubs and pulls up a chair by her bedside. He explains what they found, how it wasn't a baby, as some had imagined, but something called a teratoma. He tells her gently that it's a rare kind of benign tumor, one that can contain tissues like hair, teeth, and even bone. It had likely been growing for decades, slowly and unnoticed, until it had become large enough to mimic a pregnancy. Maria listens, taking in each word, feeling both relief and amazement. Her family is equally stunned, processing the strange revelation. It's hard to believe that something like this could have happened. A quiet presence within her all these years, waiting to be discovered? But now it's gone, and she feels lighter, unburdened in more ways than one. As the days pass and Maria recovers, her family rarely leaves her side. They bring her flowers, sit by her bed sharing old stories and memories, laughing and crying with her. Her grandchildren visit, bringing her little drawings and holding her hand, each visit filling her heart with joy. This experience, as frightening and strange as it was, has brought them all closer together. When she's finally discharged, Maria returns home, where neighbors greet her with warm embraces and small gifts, happy to see her back safe and sound. The rumors and strange looks are gone, replaced by admiration for her strength and resilience. She feels a renewed sense of gratitude for the simple things: her cozy home, the people she loves, and the support of her community. In quiet moments, Maria reflects on the mystery that brought her family together, grateful for the bond it renewed among them. She realizes that life is full of surprises, some difficult and some miraculous, and each one is a reminder of the strength and love that holds us all together. It was a journey she never expected, but one that filled her final years with a joy she hadn't felt in a long time. What are your thoughts on the twist we uncovered today? Comment your ideas below. Make sure to like and subscribe for a daily dose of drama and mystery. See you later with another twist.